Stolen by Partey into Havertz. It's Kai Havertz! It's him! It's that man again for Arsenal. 7 in a row at home. 1-1. Bukayo Saka, lovely angle on that. Gabriel Martinelli off the bench to touch Arsenal into the lead. Oh, what a ball from Bukayo Saka to set that up.
Hello and welcome to Whatever the Weather, another Arsenal podcast. Listener, you join us on Monday, the 7th of October, following Arsenal's 3-1 victory over Southampton at the Emirates. This evening, I'm joined by Keith.
Hello.
And by Dan.
I'm back.
Oh, he's
Did
back!
Did you miss me?
No.
How's it going?
Yeah, good, mate, good. So let's get right into it. So, interesting game. I think most of us as fans kind of entered this just kind of looking at the lineup. Yeah. So how did you guys feel when you saw the lineup? I mean, there's one glaring one there that we're obviously going to speak about, but yeah.
I'll go first.
Go on then.
I was a bit not I wouldn't say bemused, but I was like, okay. I was some of the changes I understood. I just didn't get the putting Partey right back. I just don't think it works. And Havertz in midfield doesn't quite work. Didn't work last season. He doesn't play great there. He's a forward now. He's not a midfielder. He's a forward. But I can understand why he wanted to give Sterling a game, Jesus a game. I mean, he's never going to rest Saka.
Saka never gets a rest.
Never.
And there's good reasons why, because what he did in the game. But I can understand why he made the changes he made and the line. I do understand it. Just the Partey one, I just don't get. I'd rather just play Carefree on the right and put Miles Lewis Skelly or on the left back, or maybe Josh Nichols at right back, or Kivior at left back and Carefree on the right. But it wasn't a disaster that
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because Mikel does get a bad rep about not rotating and stuff like that. And I think we've had a tough few games. I think Southampton was the game to use Sterling, as you said.
Yeah.
Maybe bring on a Gabby Jesus. I didn't mind Partey at right back. He tried it at the start of last season and he dropped Gabriel for the start of the season and it didn't work then. I don't think it was bad this time, but it still looks a bit clunky. He didn't really invert and kind of played more as a right back, which isn't really his thing. But do you know, I didn't mind it. I thought it was harsh on Trossard to be dropped. I thought he was awesome against Leicester. Really creative. So for him to get dropped, I thought was quite harsh. But in Mikel, we trust. Southampton are relegation fodder. Let's have it right. So you know, if you're going to make changes, I think you can against Southampton. And yeah,
I'd actually broadly agree, actually. And also, the thing about playing Partey at right back, I mean, to be fair, okay, both Timber and White are injured, okay, who are both pretty tough players. I'm not hugely averse to putting Partey at right back, and for the most of the game, he didn't really play there, as you kind of alluded to already. So I don't know. It kind of worked, I think. I mean, what else are we gonna do in terms of our defensive midfield? What are you gonna do? Put Jorginho at right back? I'm all for what Keith is saying about playing some of the younger players at.
You could play Kivior at left back and then put Carefree right back. I'd rather play Partey in midfield. He started finally after a year. Seems to be getting some form. Partey, he's playing well.
I actually think he's playing really well.
Well, that's what I mean. That's my point exactly.
Yeah.
He's coming to some form. Keep him in midfield. It's working for him there. Keep him there. But again, like you said, like Dan said, in Mikel we trust. And as you said, it worked, but it didn't quite click. And I think that's This is the game. We've had a lot of injuries recently. We've had a lot of bad luck of injuries recently. Odegaard and Marino getting injured in his first training session. And I think this was the game that finally caught up with us. We've caught amazingly well with injuries recently, but this was the game that finally the injury bug caught up with us. So this is the game that finally I thought the injuries caught up with us, and it affected us more than it did the last few games.
Mm.
Last few games we've caught really well without the injury, without Odegaard, without Marino, but this is the game that finally caught up with us, and we had to work through it. We had to come
Played that
back.
badly.
No, I'm not saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying.
Yeah, I said I don't know if the injury. We've got so much depth, especially in defense, but that was really tested. As I said, having White injured, Tomiyasu still not fit, Timber now injured, Zinchenko out.
Mm.
Like
Mm,
it's Mikel likes his versatility and stuff like that, but when you just have 4 or 5 players from your defense out, you kind of have to make do. And as I said, I think Southampton is a game where you can try a Partey at right back. You wouldn't, we've got Liverpool coming in a few weeks. I'm guaranteeing you don't see Partey at right back, even if we had the same situation. So it is what it is. I thought we played pretty well. I think there was about a 10-minute, 15-minute spell where we looked a bit ropey and Southampton got that goal. I thought it was pretty poor defending on Saliba's part, if I'm honest. But as you said, it kind of woke us up. We were kind of going through the motions, making some chances, but not being really. So I'm going straight into the game because
Mate, go straight into the game.
Yeah,
Let's go straight into the game.
because the changes reflected that. I felt like, that first half I think was pretty much a non-entity. We had plenty of the ball, didn't create too many clear-cut chances, I don't feel, but we put a load of pressure on.
Jorginho had a pretty good shot on goal from outside the box, and I think apart from that, I don't think much else happened.
Yeah, there was a few scrambles in the box and a few half chances, few shots blocked, but wasn't really cutting edge chances. Sterling, who I really like, I really do. Sometimes his decision making just isn't there. Sometimes his final ball, I think he got in dangerous positions at times.
yeah.
Final ball wasn't quite there.
That's
Well,
right.
that's been the case with Stanley all through his career. That's been like City fans said it, Liverpool fans said it, Chelsea fans said it. He gets in really good positions, and you don't know what you're going to get with him. He's either going to put it in top corner or top row.
Yeah.
I mean, he went through a big purple patch at City last few years at City, but he was known before that for really being someone that missed a lot of good chances.
But then again, also he's not really had the full Mikel treatment yet, has he?
Well, he played. He played with Mikel at City.
Yeah, I know, but he's not had the full Mikel treatment. Mikel is gonna mold him, and we all know what Mikel does with players. He will mold them, and that's. What
I'd say about Sterling is he's 29. He's been around the block. He's been playing football for 15 years now. He's not going to be changing much as a player now.
Old dogs can't learn new tricks. Thank you.
No, yeah, basically, I think what you see with Sterling is what you can get with Sterling. A lot of good, and sometimes the infuriating as well. That's just the way he is as a player. Hopefully, you do more of the good than infuriating, but he's going to miss the odd great chance for us, and then you put the odd one from 25 yards in top corner. That's just Sterling. But he's a fantastic option to have off the bench and to play in games like this against Southampton.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, Saka does not miss games, and he's going to be playing. I mean, if Mikel was moving house, he'd call Saka round to help him move house. That's how much he relies on Bukayo. And I think in that second half especially...
I've got these 2 barbecues I need to move. Come on.
Yeah. And I mean, he's stepped up, and that's what Bukayo does, and that's what he keeps on doing. Yeah. And I'm really just trying to implore people, please stop it. Please stop trying to bring this kid down with your stupid comparisons to your other wingers at your other clubs or whatever it is, or trying to say he's not world class because he hasn't done this yet, he hasn't done that yet. Just leave him be, man. He is top quality. He's the star boy, and everyone just needs to shut up about Bukayo Saka. He's been doing this consistently for 3 years at every level you've asked him to do it. He is the man.
Couldn't
Everyone
agree
just needs
more.
to chill. I don't want to hear these Phil Foden comparisons, these Cole Palmer comparisons. When
No
Kulusevski went to Spurs and had a good 4 months, it was, oh, he's better than Saka. I don't want to hear any of it. You
nonsense.
know, I'm
Yeah.
tired of these fans.
I
Like
mean,
they have a
yeah.
player that comes through, a young player that comes through, shows a bit of talent. It's like, oh, better than Saka, or
Mm.
"Hmm,
I mean,
just
look,
just stop it.
we've noticed this for ages as Arsenal fans that the teams put two players on Saka,
Well, at times on Saturday it was free.
three, yeah, like, and he still manages to cut through. So, yeah. So I tell you what, then in that sense, let's move on to the second half of the game. So Archer's goal, um,
Yeah, it was very annoying.
mm,
Very annoying. I don't think Saliba uh closed him down quick enough. I think he gave him too much space. Um, and yeah, he put his foot out, and Archer's shot kind of deflected off Saliba a bit and took it past Raya. It was a
mm.
good finish. Like,
Yeah, no doubt.
not much
But
Raya could have
yeah.
done about it, but
Mm.
we've
Partey
we've
was
been
kind of in the middle of the box and didn't really do much about it, though. If
uh,
you want to go into the critique of Partey, though, but yeah.
I just feel like we've been conceding very silly goals these past couple of games, and well, yeah, these past few games, even going back to the City game, that last minute equalizer, I thought we switched off for like 3 seconds and they
Mm.
got that goal. The Leicester game didn't deal with the header from the set piece, even though it was deflected, but we allowed them to win the header. This was just a ball over the top. Archer ran into the channel and cut inside. It was just really silly, really basic things. And you can see the difference with us playing home and away is that away from home we're a lot more solid, we're a lot more pragmatic, and we take our chances when we can. At home, and I think that's like with most teams, they have an obligation to go and attack the game, right? Especially when you're playing
Hmm.
a Southampton. But
Mm.
when you go and attack the game like that, it does leave you open for silly things like this. And so that ball over the top, and then you go 1-0 down, and you're like, shit, that's
Mm.
not expected.
I
But
mean, Southampton do have some good players. I mean, I know they've been terrible so far this season, but they do have some decent
They
players.
have
And
1 point, Keith.
I
Keith.
like. I thought Kyle Walker-Peters was decent. This Dibley person was pretty good. Um,
Mm. Well, you made a good
yeah,
run for past Calafiori, which
yeah.
was yeah,
That was the thing with Calafiori, and I've seen it as well these past few games. Is obviously I love Ricky, man. He is the
yeah.
Italian stallion. Yeah,
he's
this
a,
is what I'm
he's a
talking
character.
about.
Mate, I love the dude.
He is Italian
100%.
stallion.
Yeah.
However, he does get caught in positions, and his one-on-one defending with someone with pace isn't great.
Mm.
Um, he gets beaten quite a bit, you know, but he'll work on that. As I said, he's a centre back that Mikel's put him, moved him to full back, so he'll get there. But some of the offensive positions he takes up, this guy is unreal.
Yep.
He's driving with the ball. Some of his tackles, his aggressive plays, reading of the game, he is the man. Like, I'm so pleased we have him. Um, but yeah, Southampton get that goal. No fault of Calafiori at the time. I thought, as I said, Saliba was a little bit at fault, but and then the big man, steps
Yeah.
up.
Well,
Cobra Kai.
the response, man. The
What
response.
a finish that was. And do you know what it was? Like, I think Kai Havertz has got this reputation of being, I don't know, soft or lazy or whatever it
Mm.
was. What I saw from that,
Languid, is that the word
yeah,
you're looking
languid.
for? Yeah.
What I saw from that goal was, fuck this. I ain't letting this happen. Picked up that ball from Bukayo Saka, cut inside and smashed it. It was a
Mm.
great hit and a great finish. And that's the confidence. That's the thing that I've wanted to see from him because his start at the club hasn't been great. His second half of the season was really good. And then you're thinking, can he do it? Can he continue it? And he has done. He's scoring
Yeah.
goals.
Oh, mate.
And
Mm.
he's shut a lot of people up, myself included,
Dude,
and
he scored in the last 7 home games for Arsenal. Yeah.
unbelievable. He's equaled the
Yeah.
Snakes record,
Yeah, I know. Mm.
So
I mean,
hopefully we
you
can
could
beat that.
you
But
could say that he's probably after say Saka, he might be the second or third name on the team sheet. That makes sense.
Mm,
He's that important. I think he links play up. If we need to kick it along for a bit, leave a bit of pressure, he can take the header, pass it on. He can control a ball 40 yards in the air. He can do all that. So I
mm,
think he's a fantastic player. He's such a smart footballer, and
Yeah.
he can
absolutely.
easily get 20 goals for us in the league this year. Easily,
I don't know about easily,
I believe he can.
but no, I say that also because Mikel can play him in midfield as well at times. And the thing is, he didn't even do bad. He worked his nuts off
Yeah, he does.
on Saturday, and,
Mm,
and in general, he really does. I mean, even in the 90th minute, he was closing stuff down. He was winning his duels, and that's what Mikel wants.
yeah.
Um, and as I said, I remember being on this podcast last season during that time, October, November, going, don't know about this Kai Havertz, this could have been,
Same, mate. Yeah.
and I am happy,
Same.
happy to eat humble pie on this one. And with
Mm,
many of them, and that's what I love about Mikel's signings. We as fans have opinion on these people, but what he does is brings them in and they shut us up. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is why we bought him. And we're like, do
mm,
you
Well,
know what? Fair play. And this is why
yeah.
now, whoever Mikel brings in, I'm not judging. I'm not like hoping for the best. I'm not going to say it's, it's if it's what we need, we what we need.
mm.
Mm.
Kai Havertz, I think, was the ultimate, like, no one rated the signing. Chelsea fans were ecstatic that we were taking him off our hands for 65 million. It was very, very,
I'll be
yeah,
honest, at the time, I was completely aghast at it. I was like, what are we doing? 65
yeah,
Yes.
million.
Same.
And
Same.
then the first month or so of us, this last season, I was like, this is just not gonna work. This isn't working.
Mm,
And a year ago, this weekend just gone, he scored a penalty away to Bournemouth. And he basically got given that penalty as a
yeah,
bit of a pity thing. Like,
mm,
get your first goal, get your confidence up. It was obvious. It was so obvious. Even when he scored, he looked a bit like, ooh, bit cringe.
yeah.
But look at him now.
mm,
He's quick, he's strong, he's smart. He's just an all-round player. It's like
mm.
he's very, very important for us now.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
I
mean,
mean,
he's
I
one
mean,
goal away from equaling his goals and assists with Chelsea. Like he's played for us, like I think is it in the league or something like that. He's played 45 times for us and got 24 goals and assists.
hmm,
At Chelsea, he played 90 games and got he's
25. Yeah.
one, yeah. Like,
Wow.
and
I like that.
Mikel's playing him in the, okay, he didn't at first, but he's playing him up front, the same position Chelsea did, but Chelsea never used his attributes. They used him as a target man to try and play off in that sense, which is he can do that, but he's not an elite level hold up, like
Mm,
big man, play it off him, winning the headers and stuff like that. Kai likes it to feet. He can do the heading stuff. He's a tall guy. He can win his headers, but if you play it into feet, he's better that way. He can link play that way and get on the end of things. And as you said, Keith, he's so intelligent as a footballer. Like he takes up spaces that makes the opposition think, moves them out of position, and that opens up space for other people. Honestly, Kai has been sensational.
mm.
Again, I tip my hat to Mikel. He knows exactly what we need. He always
Definitely.
does. And yeah, again he was so good on Saturday.
Shortly after Kai's goal, Mikel made some substitutions, which I think really changed the fabric of the rest of the game. So 60 minutes, we took off Sterling and we brought on Martinelli. We also took off Jesus and we brought on Trossard. And
Also brought on Marino as well.
we also brought on Marino.
Mm.
That is very true. He's
Who I thought looked all right. I thought he looked quite tidy.
yeah.
Won some tackles. Really looked really
He
good in
won.
tight
Did he win some
spaces.
duels?
He won the duels.
How many duels?
Yeah. I think he played a
uh,
really good ball to Martinelli at one point over the top. I thought it was
mm,
pretty good. But yeah, the subs did change things. Gabby Jesus didn't have a very good game. again, which is a little
Disappointing
bit
to see.
concerning. It's a little bit
Yeah,
concerning.
he just can't. He just can't. All he needs. I mean, what I would usually say is he needs to tap in. Tap in, you'd be a lot. He'd be back to his old self. But I don't
I
know.
think
Even if he gets 5 tap-ins in a week, I just don't think we're going to see the player that we thought we had. Has he still
Mm.
got it? I don't know. He just seems so off the pace.
do you know
So
what
off
it
the pace.
do you know what it is though? I feel like he's trying too hard at
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
Like when he gets the ball, he's um trying too hard to make something happen and he's trying to force it. If he just
Mm.
starts doing the basics, just the basics, picking up the ball, passing it off, whatever it is, just basic stuff. I think it will
Well,
come. It will
yeah,
come, but he's trying too hard at the moment.
yeah.
And so,
I
Mm.
mean, yeah, he's going to find it hard to get back in the team because the subs worked so well on Saturday.
yeah,
I mean, let's talk about the Martinelli goal. I mean, the most very important. It was so important it came so quickly after the equalizer. It didn't come off 20 minutes later. It came after 10 or 12 minutes later.
yeah.
And
10, yeah.
yeah, it was so important that we got that quick second goal because we don't want to go into another 95-minute stress-inducing nightmare. So we got the second goal, great cross by Saka. He got past two people. I mean, poor defending by Southampton, but fantastic cross. I mean,
I thought he was off. I thought he was
yeah,
off.
yeah. It
And you
must
know what?
be
I've looked
millimeters from
back
there.
and they've drawn the lines on, and I still think he's off.
Yeah.
But I don't care. So
Shut up, Dan.
couldn't give a monkeys. But it was basically the same goal that Trossard scored against Chelsea last year at the Bridge. Do you remember it?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
our equalising goal. Saka cut inside, pinged it to the back post.
Mm.
Trossard was on the end of it that day, but on Saturday it was Martinelli. It was a great run. Um, and yeah, great finish. And Martinelli again get in the goals, and that's what we need. Him
Mate,
pick up goals.
I think Martinelli needs goals,
Yeah,
like to build his
absolutely.
confidence. So the same that Keith was saying about Jesus just a moment ago. I think Martinelli's one who, especially one that he's seems to be more of a starter than Jesus. I really do think that Martinelli needs those moments.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um,
I do feel bad for Martinelli a bit because when he plays, he works his arse off. Like he really does. The defensive side of his game that doesn't really get picked up on too much, I
mm,
don't think. Mikel asks a lot of his wingers,
Mm.
and Martinelli really works hard. So, but when the things that are noticeable is when he's on the ball and your final product, right? And when it wasn't quite there, he was getting a lot of stick. But I felt like his all-round game wasn't bad.
Mm.
Just didn't have the goals and assists to match it really. And you could see, certain chances he was snatching at them. The confidence wasn't there.
Yeah. At the
Um,
same time, though, I mean, he is meant to be a goal scoring forward. So I can understand why he was getting some criticism. I mean, we do need him to score. He went for about 4 months, 5, 6 months without scoring a goal. It just isn't good enough. So
mm.
yeah, maybe some of the criticism was harsh. I mean, some of the fans on Twitter were definitely going overboard, but
what?
I
Fans
know,
on
Wait,
Twitter
hang on. There are people on
going
Twitter who go
overboard?
overboard. Oh, shocking, mate. Like, come on.
I
Mate,
know, the most obvious thing ever. But my point is, some of the criticism for Martinelli was justified, but as Dan said, his defensive game was fantastic. He
Mm,
just keeps running all the time. It just he's finishing when able for about 5 months. But hopefully he's now bang in form and we come back next 2, 3 months, he can score another 5, 6, 7 goals for us. Hopefully. That's the plan anyway.
mm. Going back to what you guys said about Kai Havertz, one thing I really loved, I mean, he didn't actually set up the Saka goal, the third goal. One thing I really loved that how he was just on the floor and just kicked the ball forward when he's lying on the floor, and it was picked up and
yeah.
Oh yeah,
and
that was
that's
great,
how
yeah.
we I love seeing stuff I really do. I love seeing things like that. It's um it's like proper dedication to it.
That's
Even
just
when you
intelligence, isn't it? Just
mm,
intelligent football brain. It
mm,
just thinks in a millisecond, kick it that way.
mm,
There'd be someone there. We can score. It's just, yeah, that's what separates the pub footballer from the professional footballer. They can just think of something like that in an instant.
The Kai Havertz effect.
Mm,
That's what I'm calling it.
yeah. Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, it was a great goal, 2-1. And then,
Mm,
yeah, and then Southampton came back in it after that for a bit. They had 1 or 2 half chances. It was just a little bit nervy, but we got the third goal in the end with Saka, which was so important.
mm,
And again, it was KFS involved in it, and nice finish from Starboy.
mm. Absolutely.
I thought it was Trossard in the third goal. He kind of didn't he pick it up and overrun it a bit, and it
Might have been. Might
dropped
have been.
to dropped to Saka, who's a great finish with his right foot. Um, yeah, mate. As I was saying earlier about Bukayo Saka, just leave the guy alone, mate.
Mm.
He is phenomenal. I
Dude,
don't
just
care.
let him do his thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that's it. Let him do his thing.
If you want to call him world class, call him world class. If you don't, you don't. I don't care. As long as he keeps producing the goods, mate, you can
Mm,
have that argument by yourself. Do you know what I mean?
mm.
Couldn't give a monkeys. Love that man. He's even been given the armband recently, which I also love. You know, like he wasn't a captain on Saturday, it was Jorginho, but I think, you know, even I think he was captain against PSG. Well, you know, what a moment.
I think that Jorginho was captain at the beginning of the game, and then when Jorginho came off, Saka became captain.
Yeah, man. Look, that's what I'm talking about. Homegrown talent, captain of your
Yeah, yeah,
football
exactly.
club,
Well,
you know, is,
Jorginho, yeah, he is.
you know.
Yeah,
I thought
still.
Jorginho had a pretty good game as well. I think he had a
Mm,
lot of time and space to do what he needed to do because Southampton had obviously dropped off um, quite a bit.
mm,
Um, but yeah, I said all in all, I think it was a 3-1 game. I don't think the scoreline flattered us, but I also don't think, you know, I think Southampton deserved their goal overall. I think a 3-1 was a fair result. I think we dominated most of the game. So yeah, really pleased. 3 points, job done. Going to the international break, and yeah, we move.
It was really nice seeing Aaron Ramsdale back at the Arsenal. And listener, you will know if you listen to the podcast for a long time. Me and Dan are both like Aaron Ramsdale a lot. Um, shame James isn't here to comment on this.
He deserved it. He deserved it. He was
100%. Yeah.
part of the transition. He's
Mm,
part of the reason as to why we're here where we are now, why we're in the Champions League, and he deserved all the applause. He's been so respectful since he's left the club as well. And we all loved Aaron Ramsdale, you know, the character, the personality, and he was a great keeper as well.
mm,
Obviously, I had my doubts over him at times. He made some mistakes, but that was part of his character and part of his personality as well. And I think he really took to the fans took to him. And yeah, those characters are always welcome at a football club, you know, and I'm sure Southampton will benefit from that. And I mean, I want him to do really well. If Southampton stay up, that'd be fantastic.
mm.
I think it'd be harsh on Aaron to go down a third time.
Do you know
I think
what?
as a
I've been thinking about this a lot
like
in the
as the
terms of like
quality of
he
keeper
was
he is.
relegated twice, and then he
Yeah,
came to the Arsenal, and then we've sold him to get relegated for a third time. And I'm like,
yeah.
what have we done to him?
No, it's I hope, you know, for his sake, they don't go down. Just as I said, because the quality of keeper, like to be relegated 3 times, is it's a bit harsh. And those last
Yeah.
two relegations were obviously of no fault of his own. In fact, he was player
Mm,
of the season at Bournemouth when they got relegated, but or Sheffield United, one of the two.
mm.
Um, but yeah, it could happen again.
It could.
I hope
It
it
could.
doesn't to him because I said
Mm,
he deserves a long career. And
absolutely.
I
Speaking
was
of things that happen again, like
yeah.
so we don't tend to go 2-0 down in games and then get defeated. I mean, there's a team that seem to really relish doing that, and I don't know. I know that they're based just down the road from me, but
Mm.
you know,
What team's that, mate?
I don't know. What do you think of them?
Shit.
Shit.
I mean, listen, this would not be an Arsenal podcast if we didn't take the piss out of that. I mean,
I
come
mean,
on.
I
Like,
watched the first half and it was so one-sided. It was so one-sided. I actually put it off at half time. I thought I'm not watching the second half because it's going to be an easy 4-5-0 win for Tottenham there. So I thought I'll go and do something instead that's actually useful, like cleaning the kitchen. So I missed the comeback. I looked at my phone and I was like,
oh
oh,
God.
it's 3-2. What happened there? Danny Welbeck, such a good player, Welbeck.
Do, 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 do.
Ah,
Legend.
He's
I
such a
mean,
good player. If he
Yeah, he's
hadn't,
brilliant.
he
Yeah.
had so many bad injuries of us.
Mm,
He had like two ACLs. He had a massive, really bad ankle injury.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
if
come on,
he,
no, I just thought he was a quite a likable guy, but
yeah, he was always good for us, but he was
yeah.
just so injury prone. It was
Mm,
ridiculous.
yeah.
And thankfully, I mean, good to see that he seems to have in his career now where he's actually not as injury prone as he used to be. He might
Mm,
be, I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something right. And he's playing a lot of games and he's still got a lot of ability. Brighton are lucky to have him.
mm.
that was so good, wasn't it? It was so good.
Yeah, mate, it's
I mean, have you
yeah.
heard did you hear the stat that Tottenham are now the first team to go into double digits of being winning 2-0 and losing the game?
10 times, isn't it?
It's happened to them 10 times,
Yeah.
three more than anyone else. Like they made like essentially Spursy. That's what the stat's
Bertie is
called.
just
That's
dude.
that's it.
Nah, that's it. That is as
And I did
Spursy
love
as
how
it
they
gets.
they tried to run the whole bottle job thing back to us because we were competing for a league and didn't quite win it. Which is
Yeah.
hilarious to me. Um, so yeah, now there's an actual stat that proves what Spursy means.
Okay, so there are no more Arsenal games for another 10 days, I believe, because of the international break that everybody loves.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay!
Completely pointless, complete waste of time,
Yeah.
I don't, man. I
complete waste of time. But luckily, Havertz has already pulled out of the squad, so he's not going
Mhm.
with a knee injury,
Mm.
which hopefully is nothing,
I'm
and
pretty
he'll be
sure he
back
just
in.
has, maybe he has a bit of a cold.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe he stubbed his toe. I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
Something.
Timber's not going.
Mm.
Odegaard's not going. Zinchenko's not going.
Tommy,
You know,
is Tommy Esu going?
probably he's
He
been fit for
shouldn't.
he's been fit for 10 minutes, so I assume he'll be going. Um,
Yeah, and he'll
and
be
then
fit for another 10 minutes after he starts the game for Japan. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. He'll come
Yeah.
back. He'll come back injured, and then
Partey is Partey going? I don't know. Like, just too...
According to the Arsenal.com, Tomiyasu isn't being called up.
Oh, that's good.
It, I'll go through the quick list of them. Martinelli, Gabriel, Kivior, Raya, Marino, Carafori, Trossard, Saliba, Partey. So, and then it's Rice, Saka. That's it, really, I think.
So basically, our entire squad, like,
And Trossard.
and
first 11.
Trossard. So yeah, so basically all of them.
Well, about 12 players, so it's not as many as other teams, but
Well, I suppose not, but like, you know,
like as Dan said,
wow.
there's 4 or 5 of them that aren't going because of injury. And hopefully we
Mm,
can get 2 or 3 of them back by the
Yeah,
next time we play.
yeah,
We've
we'll
got a
see.
very hard run of fixtures coming up soon.
hoping Odegaard's back by then. They said
Mm,
maybe after the international break. I think this is what I'm saying, guys. Like from international break to international break, we've had some injuries. Odegaard was a massive one.
mm.
Um,
Oh,
and I
100%.
think we've just coped so well.
Yeah.
Um, where at times, even after Leicester game, I don't think we were all saying we don't miss Odegaard because that'd just be a lie. But I think for the couple of games, we weren't like, oh, we really need Odegaard, Like I felt
Mm.
like we've coped really well. And
I mean,
so
there were certainly moments where we definitely needed somebody who was a bit more creative, but
it
I
just
I
think
seemed
think
like
for
that
I think for the most part, we managed to
I thought
find
it was
ways
going to
through.
be,
Like,
yeah, I thought when he got
mm,
injured, I thought we're in massive trouble here because no one does what Odegaard does for us.
yeah.
He makes the team tick. He's picking up the ball. He's starts the presses and all of these things. No one does what he does. It's very hard to replicate. And what I loved about Mikel is like, I'm not going to replicate it. I'm going to do something else. I want to try something different. And so we've done that. We've managed that. And we still haven't lost the game here, people.